In this video, I am not selling you lead generation, but I'm going to show you lead generation in its most interesting form, Google Sheets. ProperlyAds.com has this free checklist. So here's the checklist actually. And what I noticed, I actually got the checklist. I'm interested in seeing checklists as lead magnets. And I saw this landing page audit and a Google Ads audit. And I was like, I got to get this. And it's a Google Sheet. And there's something very, very interesting that I saw about this that I think could be better. And so I wanted to share with you people who are interested in doing Google Sheets, and especially those who are interested in making lead magnets for your own company. And some of the thoughts that I think about when I try to create a good lead magnet. I've done this a few times now where like I've created a lead magnet or helped create a lead magnet for someone who was running a newsletter, someone who literally like last week I created a CRM for someone, which will probably be out soon. And as part of that, we created a free version of that. But then they were like, oh, I want to do this, this, and this, and this. And I was like, none of that matters. What really matters is if you create a free lead magnet, there are two things that matter. One, you want people to use it. And two, you want people to share it. And then what happens from then, I think is very important and can be baked into the Google Sheet itself to make conversions higher and more people know about you as those two things happen. So as people use it, they get reminded of you. And two, once they share it with others, because they're like, I love this thing so much, I use it every day or every week, and I use it when I do X, Y, or Z. It's helped me do this thing. And a friend of theirs is being shared the sheet. And this landing page checklist and this Google Ads audit checklist absolutely do not include those secrets that I want to share with you today. So again, ProperlyAds.com isn't very optimized in any way whatsoever. So this is the big secret, and I will reveal it now 2 minutes into this video, and we're going to execute it in this video, which is going to make this better. So this checklist right now, if you're looking at it right now, says nothing about Properly Ads, says nothing about their website, has no link whatsoever to their website. So if and when I go File, make a copy, and I'm adding this, it says copy of checklist, make a copy. Now it is in my Google Drive, and it has absolutely no connection whatsoever to ProperlyAds.com. And this is a huge problem. And this is the number one problem, other than the pet peeve of having all this space here that I'll talk to you about later. The number one thing about this sheet is that it absolutely does not say anywhere on here Properly.com. The way that I got this, and I'm telling you now, is from .com. But if I have this in my Google Drive, I have to rename this also, not checklist, but landing page checklist, right? And now it's in my Google Drive, and I'm going to share that with someone else. I mean, if this is actually really good and is really useful, and I really want to go back to Properly Ads and be like, hey, I want you to help me with my Google Ads or my landing page or whatever it is, I'm never going to be reminded of it here. So let's actually change that. First off, the very first thing I would do is I would put it in the title, landing page checklist properly. Actually, what was it? Probs.com. I'm just going to add it here, and we're going to title it Properly Ads. And you can do a pipe here or by or from, doesn't matter. I like the pipe a little bit most of the time. I think it's just shorter and it clearly like it's a vertical line instead of, most of the time it does not look like an I or an L at all. Okay, second thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take these two columns and we are going to delete them, completely delete them, because we want our Google Sheet to be crisp as possible. We already have some space up here, these two blank lines. Again, this landing page checklist, I'm going to rename exactly the same as the name of the sheet. Why is that? Why would I do that? Because as you saw, when I do File, make a copy, someone's going to edit this. So if they edit this and edit this, great. Okay, you stole my idea here. You stole my sheet, whatever. But we're going to keep making it harder and harder for someone to steal. I do want to do something else here, which is I want to put this actually merge these and make this way bigger, maybe 15, no, even bigger, 20. Great. Landing page says Properly Ads right there, but I need to click over here somehow. Let's move this a little bit, and we're going to insert row below. I'm specifically doing it because I'm copying and pasting that row. Then I'm going to move this row all the way down here, not all the way to the bottom. Then I'm going to go and delete all of these. Oh my God, there's so many rows. Delete all these rows, all of these columns. I want to delete all of them. Make it nice and simple. Now, what else can we do? We can go and grab their color. So this is a bit of a darkish into this sort of lighter blue, but I'm going to make sure I get the exact color. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy colors from image, upload a screenshot here, and grab this dark. Let's go with the darkest one, darkest blue. So we're going to do that. And we are going to make all of this background, this custom color. There we go. Custom color. And now we have to make this color white. Perfect. Because I see also, yeah, white text background, that color. Perfect. Now let's do that as well here. Down background custom color, text white. We can even do this opposite. So use the custom color as the text here and background white here. And I want to use very different font. Usually what I would do is I would figure out the font of the site, or if there's a very distinct kind of font, and I would put that here. Let's just go with a nice font here. Let's Carla. Actually, I want to do that all the way around. I just want Carla everywhere. I'm going to center these to make it look a little bit nicer. This done doesn't need to be so big. All this text is very small. I want this text to be much bigger, at least from here to here, at least a 12. I need to resize that. I also want to view, show, don't show grid lines. And I'm going to customize these grid lines here. So we're going to just make this a lot nicer to look at. Let's get rid of all of those. What do we need? We actually need grid lines. Do we need grid lines? This is actually really nice. I like these sort of sections. What I do want to do though, this should all be, I think, twisted or like this. That might be much more interesting and give these things a little bit more space. So I'm going to add, yeah, that's pretty nice. Make it a little. And I actually want to get the size of this. Resize row is 8. So let's do this. Let's see what 35 all the way down looks like. Resize rows. Make these all the same, 35. And let's center all of this text. Center vertically, but this center horizontally. I think we do that. And we can also make this smaller. We don't even have to have the word section here. I do want to make this a little bit darker. So take the darker version of all of these colors that they chose already. Might be nice. That looks cool already. We're just going to do that for each and every one of these colors. This one's a little weird. We'll fix this in a hot second, right after we finish this coloring. There we go. So this one is called site performance. We can go with performance, or we can clip it. Yeah, there we go. That might be better. Now this is looking a lot nicer, I think. I think this is looking a lot better than having tiny font. Now, here's one weird thing that I would say is if you're using these, most of the time you're going to use a screenshot as an image and say, hey, go download our thing. You might want to make a nice big, we can't even make this small enough, right? You might want to make one compact that looks like a Google Sheet and says, hey, go download our Google Sheet. But then when people use it, they're like, I don't want all this space. I want to actually be able to read this. I want to actually be able to check this off. And I want to be able to add stuff to this. So maybe what I might want to do here, this might be a little fun thing to do, is put a little progress bar, like as these are done, right? Maybe. We don't know. I don't know if this is going to something to it. I might actually have some suggestions later. How about that? We just want to make this nicer looking. Let's put this actually in the center, merge these landing page checklist.com. Now you see this, you're like, yeah, this is a checklist. This is from ProperlyAds.com. What I would do here, actually, let's talk about what I would do extra, because there is something we can do that is going to make this insanely useful. And only ProperlyAds can do this. If you are doing a lead magnet and you're about to do what I am going to tell you to do, one, this will make it extremely different from what they're doing. If you literally take their Google Sheet and then release it, that's just copying. But what I'm about to say is something that you can add to this that will absolutely unequivocally make yours better and also make it completely uniquely your own. So checklists generally are, and this is an audit, this is a landing page audit. So you're gonna use this generally. Checklists are used when you're doing some task and you need to go back over and did I do all of the things that I need to do? Each of the items will have some reason, right? You're going to look at this, optimize it for this, do this, optimize it for this, or is there, and here you can see, do I know my ideal customer? Yes or no? Is this? And all this is doing is done. Yes or no, done. What I would suggest doing is two things. This is going to be very hard to sort of digest, but I would say create note as to why someone would do that and have them here. And then when it's done, you would change those notes from why would someone do that or how they might do that to now, based on this is done, what should I do next? Okay, so how do we do that? We're going to just do equals if. We're going to use the C6 as the logical expression, true or false. If it's true, meaning it is checked, we're going to write something here. If it is false, meaning it is unchecked, that's our note. Hey, do I know my ideal customer? Ideal customers are usually ... whatever, right? Whatever you need. Or here's an example of an ideal customer for Walgreens, right? And now that note will show up if it's unchecked. If it's checked, what do we want to do? What is the next? Once we know our ideal customer, what do we want to do? Do I want to say, hey, once you have your ideal customer, go check out Properly.com. Wait, ProperlyAds.com/ideal customers. Why? So that you can write more about these. I don't know, like I'm not a landing page expert here, but basically based on you now have this information, you have these comments, now what to do? What's the next step? And sometimes, and most times, especially when you're creating lead magnets, I would view parts of your site or blog articles, either in the text here, like ideal customers are usually, but here's an example from Walgreens, read about how to do this on ProperlyAds.com/ideal customers, right? That might be a different ideal customers need. That'll be a different blog than the one that, okay, once you have that, what's the next step? And so now we have this note here, notes, and these are super unique to you. Again, you can literally have this exact same checklist from ProperlyAds. You can release it on your own, but if you have different notes, if you have different resources, right? Use the checklist itself to qualify if you should show that. Why I say this is because most of the time, what we're going to do when we create a checklist is we're just going to like give them the checklist, and then we're going to hope and pray that they go and know this and that. But this is a really good like bottom of the funnel sales tool, right? How do we, as creators online, business owners, entrepreneurs, how do we express our expertise and our experience? We do it with this kind of thing, these notes. We don't do it with the fact that we have a checklist. There are so many checklists out there, but you can do better. You can do better now because you're watching this video, right? And so now we go over here, and this is how you can do it. Only show the information that the customer needs, the person using this sheet needs to know at that moment. In this case, we might need to add some more space here or maybe make more note. It doesn't matter. You can always fix the formatting based on this if you need to, and have this maybe a link instead of just text, right? Say if we can do hyperlink, and this is going to create a hyperlink to ProperlyAds.com, and then we're going to say read this story. And so now if I click it, it now tells me, oh, dude, go somewhere else. But if I'm like, oh, how do I do this? Oh, here, go here, read this story, click on this link. It's a link directly to our site. Here's the blog article, or here's a YouTube video. Here's something you need to know in order to fill this out. This is helping people so much more than just having the checklist, and it embeds your experience and your expertise into this checklist. So people use this all the time. And now the moment someone shares this, they now see the person on the other side. One sees that it's from ProperlyAds. They see the name, they see the link, but they also get this information as well. These links are now shared amongst everyone that's using this and should be really cool. So that's it. That is this whole tutorial. And that, I think, if you just do that, right, make it a little nicer to look at, add that link to your own site, make it your own branding, and then imbue it with your own experience and expertise, you're going to make the coolest and best lead magnet you could ever make. And it will be the most used lead magnet ever on earth. And it'll be free, and it'll be available in a Google Sheet, and you never have to host that yourself. You can just say, hey, here's this open link on my website. It is super simple. An if statement with a checklist and add your URL. That is it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you have better checklists, better lead magnets from this video.